Pro-Palestinian supporters in Cape Town have paid their respects to the late Pontiff, Pope Francis, who passed away on Easter Monday at the age of 88 years old, saying that the Pope was a voice of reason amid the ongoing issues and conflict in Gaza. I'm joined now by one such activist, Marion Stevens. Marion, good day to you. Of course, a sad situation where hundreds and millions of people really across the globe are at this moment in mourning following the death of the Pontiff. His relationship with Gaza was quite special. We know that he made almost daily calls to the church in Gaza and was very outspoken in terms of what is happening in that part of the world. As an activist, as someone who is calling for an end to the hostilities, and as an organization of people coming together, your message at this time and what did the Pope represent in terms of calling for that moral voice, calling for peace, essentially, in Palestine?
Yes, and condolences to all Christians and justice lovers who are mourning the Pope this week. The Pope was phenomenal in being the first Pope from the global majority, the global South, and he stood for peace and justice. And in particular, it's really very it's an extraordinary memory to hold, to understand that the Pope called the Christian community in Gaza every night. He asked people what they were eating. He asked people how they were. And we don't often think about the fact that all the churches in Gaza have been bombed and there's rubble. The Pope really stood out in calling for moral leadership in this genocide. He stood out for justice. He really was deeply affected by what he didn't say was a war. He said it was an extraordinary cruelty. And on Sunday last week, in his last Easter Sunday in church, he basically called, he was supposed to be on oxygen therapy, and he did everything possible to just say this last message, to call for peace, to call for the end, to call for a ceasefire. And I think as people in this Holy Week, I think it's really important to hold on to the fact that this is not a religious war that's going on. This is a genocide, and people of all faiths, Christian, Jews and Muslims, are standing together in memory of the Pope and of his leadership and of his stand for justice across the world.
We've also seen messages of support coming through over the past week, messages of condolences, world leaders coming out and speaking about the Pope and what he had represented. An opportune time now, you would say, for these world leaders to pull together to live out the Pope's legacy.
Indeed, it's going to be a very awkward diplomatic situation where you're going to have diplomats that normally don't sit alongside each other. What are they going to say to each other? How can they look themselves in the face when so many are deeply complicit in this genocide? We have American bombs, American-made bombs that are being dropped all the time. We have different companies globally, mining minerals, sending coal over. How can people go to bed at night when they see the system of evil that is fueling this genocide? And I think it's a really important time maybe to sit inside the spaces of reflection in churches and to think, how are we going to end this? Who's going to stand up and be the leader? Who is going to stand alongside for justice? And who are our leaders in this time of devastation? It is extraordinary when one thinks about where the different foci are of the world, and we are watching a genocide on our TV screens.
Marion Stevens, thank you so much for speaking to me. Of course, they're a Palestinian activist talking about the role of the late Pope Francis, and he's, up until his last message, calling for peace in Gaza, in Palestine, and of course, as the focus of the world this week focuses on the Vatican following his death at the age of 88 years old on Easter Monday. Activists for Palestine here in South Africa, in Cape Town, are indeed remembering the late Pope Francis as a man of social conscience, someone who promoted social justice and also strongly condemned what is happening in Palestine currently.